Noise cancelling headphones are all the rage these days. Gone are the days where the de facto standard for a pair of good active noise cancelling headphones would be the Bose Quiet Comfort series. Now there is a lot of competition and choice in the market, with my favorite being the Sony WH-1000XM3. And therefore, when Beyerdynamic announced its very own pair of noise cancelling headphones, which is the Lagoon ANC, I was pretty excited to check them out. Why am I excited to check the Lagoon ANC out is primarily because Beyerdynamic makes excellent sounding headphones. In fact, my favorite headphones from last year were the Beyerdynamic Avento Wireless. So you know what, let's find out if the Lagoon ANC has what it takes to actually take on the current champion of noise cancelling headphones, the Sony WH-1000XM3. And you know what, to make this review interesting, I've actually put it in a question and answer format. So let's get this video started. Hi, I'm Ashar from Mr. Phone, and this is our review of the newly launched Beyerdynamic Lagoon ANC. But before we move on, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever Mr. Phone puts out an awesome new headphone video. So the Beyerdynamic Lagoon ANC has two levels of noise cancellation. But you know what? I couldn't tell the difference between the two levels, especially when you're listening to music at more than 80% of the volume levels. In fact, inside a flight, the Beyerdynamic's ANC drivers do such a good job of cutting out the engine noise at level 1 itself. So here's my suggestion: actually listen to music at level 1 ANC and save a lot of battery as well. What I like about the Lagoon ANC is that when you switch on noise cancelling, it doesn't create a vacuum in your head. Having said that, if you're sitting inside a silent room and not playing any music and you have ANC on the headphones and you put them on, you will clearly hear a hissing sound. Now this sound is not heard on the Bose QC35-2s or even the Sony WH-1000XM3s, and that's what makes their ANC better. Plus, I think that the level of noise cancellation, even considering the level 2 on the Beyerdynamic Lagoon, is not as good as the Sony WH-1000XM3 or the Bose QC35-2s. Oh, so we're asking the most relevant questions first. I see. I appreciate that. So before I talk about the sound quality, let me tell you that I had connected the Lagoon ANC to a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus and I was streaming music at aptX HD quality, which is the maximum that the Lagoon ANC can do. It cannot do LDAC. Now I also streamed music using Apple Music and Spotify, and of course I also listened to music from PowerAmp using a few FLAC files that I had with me. Now, talking first about the spatial separation and the sound staging, I felt that it was good. It was wide enough, but I've heard a few other open back headphones that can go wider. In fact, the Sony WH-1000XM3 has a slightly wider soundstage compared to the Lagoon ANC. Now, to test the imaging and the instrument separation, I generally listened to the Arctic Monkeys' Do I Wanna Know, the penultimate section of that song. And you know, there are a lot of instruments that keep crowding in, and many headphones and even IEMs struggle to reproduce each instrument clearly, which is not a problem with the Lagoon ANC. In fact, a clean presentation, great dynamics, and excellent instrumentation is a strong suit of Beyerdynamic. This pristine reproduction is the wow factor of the sound signature of the Beyerdynamic Lagoon ANC. Trust me, the treble heads or the audiophiles are gonna love the shimmer and sparkle that you get in the high notes. In fact, the high notes don't get shrill and annoying, and they don't have any roll off either. In Chris Forsyth's modern masterpiece, The Past Ain't Past, there is this underlying sound of the cymbals scratching all throughout the song, and there are so many headphones that struggle in reproducing the sound faithfully, which is not a problem with the Lagoon ANC. And in fact, after hearing that song on these headphones, the experience was transcendental. In fact, there are a lot of guitar riffs that happen in the song, plus the bells and the mids. All of them sound great when they come together in that song. Another plus point of the Lagoon ANC's sound signature is definitely the mid-bass thump that you get in certain songs. In a commercial hit like Mirza by Nuclear, the mid bass thump will blow you away. In fact, if you listen to at 100% volume, which I did, which you should not, you will hear your head vibrate and rattle with the mid bass thump that you get in the song. It is just excellent. Having said that, the sub bass roll off is little annoying, and that happens in a song like J. Paul's BTSTU. So if you listen to a lot of down tempo music, then you might not appreciate the sound signature of the Lagoon ANC. Having said that, if you are a bass head, that rattling vibration sound that you get on your headphones is something that you will appreciate a lot. Finally, coming to the mids, I'm slightly underwhelmed here. Benjamin Clementine doesn't sound as exciting as the piano or the clappers in the background of his vocal masterpiece, Nemesis. Moreover, in Mirza, which is the song that I referenced to earlier, Rashmeet Kaur's voice sounds better than Raftaar's rap. Now, what that means is that female vocals sound slightly better than male vocals on the Lagoon ANC. And moreover, when there is a lot of bass and treble that crowd the song, the mids tend to get drowned. Having said that, when a song gives more prominence to the mid-range, like Chiradgal from the movie Kumlangi Nights, the Lagoon ANC just shines. The moment the guitar riff in the song hits your ears to the backdrop of wafting water, you're immediately transported to that idyllic backwaters of Kumlangi. And once again, considering female vocals are reproduced well by the Lagoon ANC, Sitara's voice sounds absolutely excellent. Now, finally, I had one problem with the sound signature, or the entire soundscape of the Lagoon ANC, is that despite being a pair of closed back headphones, they have sound leakage at high volumes. So you might want to reduce the volume, especially when you're inside a flight, so that you don't disturb your neighbor. Overall, I feel that the sound signature of the Lagoon ANC is like sushi. Well, it is an acquired taste. You might like it or you might not like it. There is no middle ground here. As for me, I don't like the taste of sushi, but I like the sound signature of the Lagoon ANC. So why did I make that comparison in the first place? Well, the sushi is just a placeholder, my friends. You can replace that with durian or rasambada or calamari rings or damn it, I'm hungry now. So coming to the design, first of all, I would concur with the views of my friend Dhruv Bhutani, who says that the logo, the Half-Life Lambda inspired logo, is a bit off for the brand. Well, anyway, my plain black unit looks pretty staid, pretty common, and nothing too extraordinary otherwise. It has a plastic build with a metal band, but it feels really sturdy, and what I really like about these headphones is the amount of flex that you have with it. Now you can see that all the ports and the controls are placed underneath the right ear cup. There is of course the 3.5mm auxiliary port, then there is a USB Type-C charging port, and there are two sliders. Of course, the first one is for the levels of noise cancellation that you can get with it, which is 2 levels, and you can switch off ANC in the 3-way slider. And the second one is where you can actually switch on the Bluetooth or switch off the headset or put the headphones in Bluetooth pairing mode. So where are all the volume controls and the playback controls? Well, all of them are on this touch sensitive panel on the right ear cup. What this means is that you have to double tap to pause, double tap to play. You can swipe forward to go to the next song and swipe reverse to go to the previous song. You can swipe up for volume up and swipe down for volume down. Now, one of the things that is problematic is the fact that you have to swipe and hold in case you want to actually fast forward through the track, and swipe and hold like reverse if you want to go back in the track, but rewind the track, and that never seemed to work well for me. Otherwise, the controls are pretty damn good and pretty damn responsive. However, the most interesting design aspect of the Lagoon ANC has to be its light guide system, but there are way too many lights and light colors to remember, and the learning curve is a little too high, so I really didn't bother with it. It is inside these ear cups, so I just completely forgot about it. It just lights up, I just keep it around, I don't even bother. The fit and comfort are probably two of the most important factors when a brand is making a pair of Bluetooth ANC headphones. At around 283 grams, the Lagoon ANC is not the lightest headphones out there, but it is extremely comfortable to wear for long listening sessions. In fact, the plush ear cups and the headband, which are made of faux leather and memory foam, are actually very nice when you wear the headphones on your head. And for someone who prefers IEMs or in-ear monitors over headphones, the Lagoon ANC is actually awesome, primarily because it doesn't get hot after long listening sessions. In fact, I was inside 3-hour flights to and fro, and not once did I want to take my headphones off. Not once did my head get hot, which generally happens, and which is the reason why I prefer in-ears. If I have one concern with the fit and the comfort, it would have to be the fact that I didn't have to actually adjust the headband. So basically, when I wear them on my head, they sit pretty fine, so I didn't have to make the headband longer at all. Now, this could be a problem for people with smaller heads, because I have a big head, and by default, the fit of these headphones might be a little loose. Now, ideally, I would have liked Bluetooth 5.0 support, but you get Bluetooth 4.2. But for what it's worth, you can actually connect to two devices at the same time. Like I said, I was connected to the Note 10 Plus, but at the same time, I was also connected to the MacBook Pro as well, which meant that I could switch on the fly. That's really cool in my opinion. Coming to the battery life, I almost always use these headphones in active noise cancellation mode, and I got around 22 hours in my testing. Now, that is not as good as the Sony WH-1000XM3, which can go close to 24 hours, but it is still good enough. That's not much of a difference between the two. Okay, so this is a complex question, but to get the easiest bit out of the way, I haven't reviewed the Bose 700 noise cancelling headphones yet, so I will reserve my judgments for later. So when you compare these against something like the Sony WH-1000XM3, which I have extensively reviewed, and I shall link my review in the description below. Now when you compare these headphones to those headphones, I think that the Sony WH-1000XM3 has a bit of an edge, but when it comes to pure audio fidelity, the Beyerdynamic sounds better. It is a very competitive market out there, but like I've said multiple times in this review itself, the Sony WH-1000XM3 is the pinnacle of noise cancelling headphones today. Having said that, the Beyerdynamic Lagoon ANC is not far behind. It's almost 90% as good as the Sony's, and that is saying a lot. In fact, if I had to choose one pair of headphones for great audio fidelity, it would have to be the Lagoon ANC over the Sony WH-1000XM3. Now, if you're an audiophile, I'm pretty sure that you would prefer the Lagoon ANC over the 1000XM3. Now, one of the most important things while buying one of these headphones is the price. Now, the Lagoon ANC has been launched at 30,000, which was almost the launch price of the Sony WH-1000XM3 as well. But fortunately for the Sonys, they're available for much cheaper now. They are available for a price of around rupees 26,000. And at that price, you get a better product for sure. So you might want to wait for a price drop on the Beyerdynamic Lagoon ANC, but even at this price, I still think it's a great product. So what did you guys think of these headphones? Do let us know in the comment section below. Until next time, this is Ashar from Mr. Phone signing off. Goodbye and Godspeed, my friends.